Hey, 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 and welcome to the Ernest Faison Show. I'm excited to have a gentleman who I've gained respect for. Even as we're conversing, I've gained even more respect for the Director of Veteran Affairs for the state of Rhode Island, Mr. Kasim Yarn.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
for being here.
Absolutely.
Mr. Yarn has served 25 years in the U.S. Navy. What was that experience like for you?
It was a blessing. Going from humble beginnings to being part of something that's bigger than yourself, and everything that I can attribute to is by that service before self, joining America's Navy as an 18-year-old.
As an 18-year-old. Wow, that's excellent. And as you and I were talking in the green room, you told me that one of the best places that you've been that was almost life-changing was Rhode, Spain.
As an 18-year-old, yes, sir. And,
what specifically was it that took you there?
You're going out in the tropics, palm trees, what have you, walking out on the veranda. I listened to Bob Marley, legend. Arguably one of the top albums of our lifetime, Bob Marley legend, just to see the words. And he talked about spirit, upliftingness, emotions, part of something bigger than yourself, family. That was the first part of it. The second part of it, as I walked through the streets of Rhode, I came across a school packed with kids. You can't even see the asphalt because so many kids. One soccer ball. Kids playing together. That was amazing. The third defining moment was when at nighttime, because they take siestas.
That's right. Just like in Mexico.
Absolutely. And then in Italy, then later that night, the family came out arm in arm. The mother, the father, the daughter, and the son. And they were side by side. This had to be like around 8, 9 o'clock at night. Sitting there happy. And I went to a coffee shop, bonding, and I went to a coffee shop, and I had an appreciation for an espresso. I had an espresso for the first time. And just the conversation, talking back and forth. And that left a profound effect on me. Simple things, but the ability to communicate with different walks of life. So if you think you take yourself too serious, you need to take a pause.
That's right.
So those three things have changed my perspective about life, but more importantly about who I am as a person. Mm-hmm. What example do I set? And I use those opportunities to continue to guide me through life's journey.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Ernest Faison Show. I'm joined by Mr. Kasim Yarn. He is the Director of Veteran Affairs for the state of Rhode Island. He's also, wait for it, a Dallas Cowboy fan.
That star.
We're everywhere. Don't be haters.
This is not a New England thing. No. I love New England. Okay, I love the fact that you're a champion. You trust the process, do your job. I get it. But when you from humble beginnings, and you go through the tough times, and the 80s. I grew up I was born in 72, growing up in the 80s.
Okay.
There were only a couple teams that were out there that were competing worthy. You had the Cowboys, you had the Miami Dolphins, you had the Oakland Raiders,
that's right.
You had the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the San Francisco 49ers. Those were the big powerhouse teams that were potentially, when you were on TV, it would be those teams that you could continually see.
It's true.
So even though I was a hop, skip, and weight jump from the Aints at the time, because the Saints, they were called the Aints.
The Aints.
Okay.
Yeah. With the bag.
With the bag over there. So you asked me to be part of something.
Yeah.
And so it was the Cowboys. And ever since then, the Drew Pearsons of the world, that 88 jersey, Tony Smith.
When he caught that ball against Minnesota there,
he did a little push off there.
He did. They ain't gonna never admit it though, man. I jumped off the ground maybe about 10 feet. It was just incredible. Yeah. And we are America's team. Want to let you know that I'm here with Mr. Yarn. He is the Director of Veteran Affairs. Anything and just about most things that you want to know about Veteran Affairs, this would be the gentleman to know. Would also like to make it known that Gina Raimondo appointed you this position in 2016. Is that correct?
2016.
Yeah.
January 26th.
How did that come about, Kasim?
Well, she did a nationwide search. Listening to our veterans.
Oh, wow.
This is the first time we've ever had a director.
Okay.
And so what are the needs of our veteran population? And she said, Madam Governor, we need a Director of Veteran Affairs. So with the work of the General Assembly, cabinet level position, report directly to her, all things veteran affairs related. And that changed the trajectory for Rhode Island. Because we were the last state to have a director at cabinet level position. And it sends the right signal to our veterans, and more importantly their families, that Rhode Island is committed to honoring our veterans.
Absolutely. And me being a veteran, I couldn't agree with you more.
And thank you for your service.
And you as well. You being a lieutenant commander. You got a bachelor's degree from Boston College.
Boston University.
Boston University, get it right.
Humanitarians now.
Yeah, get it right. Don't mix them two up.
Yeah, we're part of the consortium,
Okay.
Boston University Consortium, but different perspectives in terms of BU versus BC.
That's right.
Especially when you're Hockey Town, Game Pot,
Yeah,
what have you too. So
I just said a blasphemous thing there.
no, you did. You got it correct. You don't know what you don't know.
That's right.
And so that's okay.
Yeah, and so did you get a master's degree also?
Got my master's degree from the Naval War College.
Naval
War College in Newport.
Yeah, what was that like for you?
It was as a lieutenant about thinking strategically about how it works, ability to think, to get guidance from the boss, and at an operational level of war, and then to employ your forces at the tactical level. And that also, and with the amount of reading that you have to do with all that too, you get a thirst for it, and it was just phenomenal. And you deal with all different branches too, working together to serve this great nation of ours too, and then also to our international partners with this,
right?
To do that, to work together and to meet those different walks of life as well, to talk about how they do their business, what's customary for them in terms of how they interact. And it's been a great opportunity for me.
That's outstanding. So the education is definitely on point. Uniquely qualified to obviously fill this position.
Thank you.
And you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, and you also got on cool socks like me. So.
Hey, this is not bad, but so the biggest transition item for me too. When you're serving the Navy forever, you have the same color socks. So I got 2 pair of black socks now because you have to be formal or something like that too.
Course.
But all those black socks, they're all gone.
I know that's right. So, a mutual friend of ours, Bob Germani.
Yes, fellow companion with the Military Order of Foreign Wars. Absolutely.
That's right.
Army, combat infantryman.
Yeah, he's
very passionate.
Very passionate and well connected as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially over there at Quanzi Point.
Yes.
He's been on the show and he's all about helping the veterans as well. So as we get into some of the meat and potatoes of the reason why you're here, Kasim, why don't you tell the people about veterans and the assistance and what it is that you do specifically?
So I think back to when I interviewed the governor for the job the first time.
Yes.
45 minutes in our office. And it was amazing. A little starstruck, because I'm a bigger guy relative to the size of the boss.
Oh, yeah.
And we sat down and talked, and she talked about the importance of the role and what she needs in a director. Outreach. Out at the grassroots level, listening to the needs of the demands of our veterans and their families. Well, as a military officer, troop welfare is #1 priority. Management by walking around. Those 2 virtues will always serve a leader well, because you're out there listening to and identifying the issues that your service members, your supporters, are being faced with. So this was right in my direct wheelhouse. And she said, this is not a job to be behind a desk. You got to be out there in the public with the people.
That's beautiful.
And I'm a people person, so that's automatic got her endorsement in that capacity too.
Foot soldier.
But she told me that this is her guidance. So going back to my experience with at the Naval War College,
yes.
She's the boss, strategic. She gives me the guidance, operational level. So now I got to go employ the forces to accomplish the mission at the tactical level. And when I say tactical level, I'm talking about all the nonprofits, all the other interagencies, cross agencies, and those private sector agencies that want to hire employ our veterans, those community groups that are out there doing great work across Rhode Island, and to be able to sit down with them and to find out what's their organization, what are their issues that they're faced with, that's preventing them from accomplishing their missions, and put it all together to come up with a plan and to brief the boss on it and take action.
So you told me in your arsenal also that you work very closely with the cemetery.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And can you expound upon that just a little bit?
Yes. So I run the manager. I direct the leadership for our Rhode Island Veterans Memorial Cemetery in Exeter,
Is that off of, right off of.
Right from, Couch County Trail, absolutely.
sir.
All the way down in Exeter. Because in Rhode Island, everything's all the way
That's
somewhere. And under the leadership of Jim Bessel, a phenomenally Air Force colonel, retired, and doing great work down there. And I tell you, it was eye-opening because we're the resting place for over 34,000 of America's heroes.
34,000.
Each Rhode Island, they come and visit there, they're for different purposes. Come, they go there to walk, some to go to reflect, some go to pay respect for their loved ones. And this is bigger than one individual.
Absolutely.
Because it means so much to so many people. Mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, children are buried there. Some pay the ultimate sacrifice.
Yep.
And it's humbling to be that leader. So to listen to them. And so when you're part of the team, I reach out to the Gold Star families to make sure that their needs are addressed.
Huge.
I talk to the Rhode Island Funeral Directors Association to meet with them periodically. How can we assist each other? Because when you experience a family that's been bereaved, in bereavement period, it's not time you try to ask all these questions, try to figure all this out, because they can't make those right decisions. But we work together with those that are in the decision-making process to make that life transition easy for them. And it's humbling. And again, I'm saddened by it because every time I talk about the sacrifices of our men and women, and at the end of the day, it's about doing right by those that are still living. That's what remember, honor, and teach. And those are the three things we talk about that guide us. And when we talk about Memorial Day, the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day, weeks across America, we remember our fallen. Remember the sacrifices that they made. Honor our veterans. Honor the family members, the Gold Star parents, and teach. Take those lessons learned and teach our children also.
I love it. I love it. You're watching the Ernest Faison Show. I hope that you're enjoying this, and we're giving you some pertinent information. We have a man in leadership. He's the Director of Veteran Affairs for the state of Rhode Island. Before off camera there in the green room, we were talking about the movie Tora.
Yes.
And about the fact that I worked on Pearl Harbor. And I mean, it's humbling just to know about the Arizona Memorial there. And you know what I mean, all of the different strategies that took place in that, and as we go forth though. So then you spoke about priorities in public speaking.
Yes. I have 3 priorities. One, to take care of our residents at our Rhode Island Veterans Home in Bristol.
Yep.
New facility, we opened 18 months ago, $120.5 million facility. Half of which was funded over by the state, the other half was funded by our federal partners. So on this journey, one can't do it by
like
itself.
that, on the journey.
It takes federal, state, municipalities working together to honor America's heroes. And it's truly humble to be the leader of that effort too. But
I'm sure it's got to be.
It is, because you walk through the corridors and you see residents that, World War II, Korea, different wars back then in terms of technology driven. It's come easy, but it's still the separation from the families is painful nonetheless. And they're older, obviously, and it's a set of needs, but we got to make sure that we have the skills there in place to provide for them. My second, as I mentioned before, regarding the cemetery, maybe show its pristine grounds, that they're being taken care of in terms of and meticulously executed when our family members are returned.
Especially there.
Absolutely. Especially I say family because we're brothers and sisters in arms.
We are.
And that's a bond that's forever. And so when I speak in terms of the cemetery, I speak in terms of brothers and sisters, and I speak in terms of a family. And our third, which started on my watch, because we work with the Governor General Assembly, is our resource center. So before, if you ask yourself, where do I go if I need some help or question about something? Yes, we can go around nonprofits who've been doing great work. We can go to other agencies, but in terms of veteran affairs, where can I go at the state level? There wasn't one. So we chose a facility in Warwick, centrally located, for travel, so that way when you have to drive all the way somewhere, at least you can get there in a reasonable amount of time. In 20 minutes roughly, not negative capacity, too. So centrally located, wheelchair accessible, several parking available, all free parking. We have an elevator there.
Very accommodating.
Because it's a home. And you walk in, we have a sign, this is our home. All veterans and family members are welcome, because, as you know, Southern roots, when somebody comes into your home, You treat them as though theirs.
That's right. And that's like what we just said, fat back collard greens and cornbread.
Yeah.
For some of you out there who know what that is. Catfish.
That's it. Red beans and rice.
Cooked in cornmeal.
Yes.
We just been in the green room having a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you're enjoying it, but we are giving you the goods because this man is uniquely qualified to do it. He was appointed by Governor Gina Raimondo. And as we move forward, I was just thinking back about Born on the 4th of July and Tom Hanks talking about the VA and how terrible, shabby the equipment was and all the facilities and resources. What do you say now to that, fast forwarding in 2019? Have we made strides or are we still in the same place?
We made several strides, but we know we still got a long way to go. We applaud the efforts. We hear horror stories about things that happen in some other states, but in New England, the 6 New England states, we've gotten that right. I applaud the efforts from our Providence VA Medical Center here and all the VA medical centers across. They all have either 4 or 5 star rating.
Yeah, I heard some of the best, right?
Yes,
here, as opposed to all around the country.
Exactly, and also too approval ratings from the staff members, quality satisfaction from the staff members. I mean, this is a place I want to come work.
Right.
I want to take care of our veterans. On the chart, quality, phenomenal work that they're doing. But also too, our regional benefits office, our VA benefits regional offices across the region as well. Phenomenal group of working there too. And the beauty of it, because we're a small state, I have the director of the Providence VA Medical Center on speed dial. I also have the director of our benefits office, E.J. McQuaid, on speed dial. And every time we do an event, all 3 of us, the triad, we're there together, supporting each other. If a veteran has questions about comments, concerns, one of the 3 of us. And again, let's talk about bridging that federal-state gap.
That's right. What are some of the challenges that are possibly plaguing your veterans who are coming back from foreign wars and everything like that, as you see it? Because you do have a unique perspective.
So I think too, 61,000 of our veterans call Rhode Island their home. 70% of that veteran population are over age 55. So geriatric extended care becomes a priority. Access to health care. Some of the veterans in that group are not enrolled in the VA healthcare system. So that is
it TRICARE still?
So TRICARE is for those that served, they did retire from the Navy, or retire from the service.
Okay.
They take 20 plus years and they retire. So that's a TRICARE option that they pay into, but that's a service. We're talking about the VA Medical Center. If you served 20 years or you served 5 years, you're eligible in some shape or form to be enrolled in the VA healthcare system. The difference of that is that it's the veteran per se, not necessarily the family member or the significant other. Whereas TRICARE, you enroll in TRICARE, it's also for your significant other as well. And so, the elderly population get enrolled in the VA healthcare system in a timely manner to assist them with their needs. And you got to look at our Vietnam era vets that we turned our back on era vets. Never again will we ever do that. But we did. It was not our finest hours as a nation in terms of our Vietnam vets.
True that.
So to all our Vietnam vets who are out there,
Jane Fonda didn't help.
That's lessons to be learned with that as well in terms of Hollywood
and
how
our
they
Jane
depict.
and everything. Yeah.
So, but to that again, if you're a Vietnam vet watching the show, please welcome home. We love you. But that group are still disenfranchised. Some which are homeless. Some which still don't trust the government, rightfully so.
There are some who still haven't gotten paid for the Agent Orange.
And that's another thing, talking about Agent Orange piece. And there's been statistical study, there's been studies that show that it's hereditary. They've got that, they can pass it on to their loved ones. So yet another reason why we want our Vietnam era vets to get checked, to get enrolled in the VA. Another thing about that we've learned through the VA process, if you served in Vietnam, you're automatically eligible for some form of benefit. Automatically eligible. But we have veterans that are not enrolled from the Vietnam era that are not enrolled in the VA system. So it's up to us not only to educate, but also provide outreach.
Could you reiterate that again? This is huge, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to hear this.
We have veterans that served in Vietnam that are automatically eligible for VA benefits, yet they're not enrolled in the VA healthcare system.
So what you don't know can hurt you.
Yes, and also that too, if you were exposed to Agent Orange, you have potentially also passed that gene over to your children.
Heredity.
Absolutely.
Wow. That is something. And when he's not helping the 61,000 vets and running the cemetery, he says that he is an avid winemaker.
Well, yeah. Well, my wife's Italian. She comes from Calabria, Italy, and she came over when she was 7. Her and her family. And this is one of those things that when you try quality stuff, you want to learn the ways. And so I remember reaching out to all her cousins, and they're like, all these little trade secrets. So you know what? Let me go to the source. So I asked my mother-in-law to teach me how to wine make, and we took a weekend. And it
you didn't step on the grapes, did you?
No, I had something on the grapes. We make sales fast that. But it was a 10-day process, and she showed me the virtues of what goes into it. So I picked it up myself, and I started to, practice how you play, how you practice, right? So I started to perfect that craft. Now, through God's blessing, I'm probably one of the top tier in terms of winemaking. And it's a leisure thing, but I enjoy when you do quality stuff. The pleasure is somebody saying it's a good quality vintage.
And you're an avid sports fan. You are a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Absolutely.
So I ain't got nothing but love for you. So you do the fantasy stuff as well.
I do fantasy sports. I occupy my time. I do. We just finished up fantasy football season. I did this okay. I'm finishing up fantasy hockey season right now. We just launched fantasy baseball season.
You're big into this, huh?
I'm big with practice. I mean, you got time. You do those things. When you're
It's amazing that you can bob and weave with all these things, especially being a director of veteran affairs. How are you able to, just have time management on your side there?
Everything's time management. I'm a creature of habit when it comes to my
load management,
everything that I do, it's all on the schedule.
Well calculated.
If it's on my schedule, it's not happening. It's because of just that pressure.
That's why Miss Raimondo picked you, because you are meticulous and you are paying attention to detail, my man.
Well, thank you so much. It's humbling, but too, I can't do the work by myself. And one of my opening remarks that I always tell people that on this journey, it takes a village.
That's right. I love that.
And our nonprofits, our Providence VA Medical Center, our regional office, other state agencies, community outreach, our municipalities, our General Assembly, our judicial leadership, our Veterans Treatment Court. It is phenomenal to partner with all of these organizations to work together.
That's got to be a blast. And do you see yourself just staying in this career field, because you seem like a natural with it?
I serve at the will of the governor, and doing my due diligence as a taxpayer, but as a steward of the taxpayer, to making sure that we are honoring our veterans in the right way, to partner with our federal leadership, to partner with other states. I'm a member of the National Association of State Veterans Directors, and one of our themes is that there are no borders when it comes to us serving our veterans.
That's right.
If another state director calls you, you better pick up the phone.
And speaking about Obamacare and like we're trying to pattern ourselves after Canada and this and that, I think out of all of the citizens that walk the face of the earth, you got to take care of the veterans, because freedom is not free.
Yeah.
And these are the people who put it all on the line. So out of all the people to be taken care of, why are we neglecting our veterans?
Well, I look at turning to myself too. We got to look at turn in terms of our veterans not taking care of our veterans. When we first started down this journey, that we internal as veterans, we don't do right by the veterans. Oh, you were a peacetime veteran, or you were a wartime veteran, or you served in Vietnam, or I didn't go on a deployment, or you're a reservist, or you didn't do active duty time. We got to stop that inner strife amongst ourselves.
True.
First of all, because I said if I can't get us together, how can I expect a non-military member, a non-veteran who never served, to rally behind our cause when we can't get on the same page?
True.
And so, and when it comes to leadership, I take that on in terms of being able to get the people together, to figure out what the problems are, and come up with a systematic plan to get and while being a steward for the taxpayer, and as well being mindful of those things, and give the government a plan.
Right.
We don't believe, and this one thing I said to the boss, I'm never going to come to you with a problem without some solutions. That's the testament.
Well,
that's my creed that I give you, and I said it to her during the interview, and to this day. But that's how I was raised.
The old school.
The military. Hey, you don't bring the problems. Bring some solutions.
That's right. That's right. Out of all the hats that you wear, one of the things that I was impressed with was that public speaking that you're involved in. And as I was with Mr. Ed Skirka with Toastmasters.
Yes.
Just expound upon that. We got a few more minutes as far as what you did over there with Bishop Hendricken.
So I didn't get this way by accident. I remember when I was going to school at Blackburn Middle School, and junior high we call it, and I was running for student council president, and I could not get out this phrase, I am a member of the National Honor Society. And I stuttered through that whole experience, and I was literally laughed off the stage. And that kind of hurt me throughout until I would mentor and say, hey, take some speech classes, take some presentation classes, start to speak about those things, start practice in front of the mirror. And I actually took classes to perfect that trade in order to learn from what my mistakes were. And so what brought me today, and then recently, page 4 several years now, leadership, Mr. Henniker asked me to speak to the entire student body. So over 800 young Rhode Island youth men, they asked me to speak for 2 hours. And I'm like, how am I going to speak for 2 hours, let alone 5 minutes?
Hormone-raging young men.
So, but guess what? We had to do the countdown because we filled the room and I engaged with those young men.
And it doesn't hurt that 6'5", 300 pounds is kind of looking at you. That's
with great power comes greater responsibility. As Uncle Ben told young Spider-Man at the time, and so that's I think too, when you humble yourself and you are a leader and you share your experiences with the youth.
That is absolutely true. Kasim, I could talk to you all day. And he said, the man who never had a chance never took a chance. This man took a chance. My name is Ernest Faison. I will try to do better next time. I've been blessed to have my brother, Mr. Yarn, on the show. God bless you. We'll do better next time.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?